Welcome to SoulScripture, Chosen One. Right now, you are standing at the threshold of something far more seismic than a new season or a fresh chapter. This is a full-blown celestial alert. Heaven is urgently unveiling the blueprint for your next reality, and the shift is so massive, so unprecedented, that even your body, your mind, and your very soul are trembling with the vibrations of destiny. The old rhythm has been disrupted. The familiar ground beneath your feet is dissolving not as punishment, but as holy preparation. Listen closely, because you cannot afford to miss what's being released into your life at this very hour. This is the moment you've secretly longed for, even if you never had words to describe it. There is a divine architecture at work that is bigger than your most persistent prayers, more intricate than your wildest imagination, and far more urgent than any mundane routine could ever satisfy. God is not just tweaking your habits or tuning your emotions. The Creator of galaxies is reconstructing you cell by cell, thought by thought, desire by desire for a dimension you've never entered, an assignment you've never dared dream, a frequency that only the rarest souls are permitted to carry. Pause for just a second and let that revelation echo inside your bones. Why have you felt so restless lately? Why does the comfort of yesterday now seem like a cage? Why does everything you once loved suddenly feel too small, too tight, too shallow? These are not random mood swings or signs that you're falling apart. They are, in fact, the unmistakable proof that heaven's master builder is at work. The questions that keep you up at night, the ache for something more, the silent grief for who you used to be, are clues that you are being fitted for a new kind of existence. God is not interested in patching up what was. No, the divine blueprint unrolling over your life is about making you fit for a destiny you could never survive with your former identity. Let urgency fill your spirit. This transformation is not cosmetic. It is cosmic. The body you inhabited yesterday, the mindset that got you through last year, even the spiritual gifts you've leaned on before they are all being recalibrated. Heaven's scrolls have been opened, and your life is being rewritten for a realm where ordinary rules simply do not apply. This is not a poetic exaggeration. This is the raw, unfiltered truth. God is preparing you for impact on a scale that goes beyond your personal breakthrough. You are being reconstructed for generational influence. The old you, your patterns, your strengths, your very limitations, cannot hold the weight of what is about to be entrusted to you. That's why everything feels like it's shifting and shattering. Feel that tension in your soul. It's not anxiety, it's anticipation. Imagine an ancient house, weathered and wise, suddenly being reinforced for a coming storm. The foundation must go deeper. The walls must become more flexible, more enduring. Everything ordinary must be upgraded. That's what's happening within you right now. God is fortifying your core, stretching your mind, igniting your spirit, and even rebuilding your physical body. The coming assignment on your life will require wisdom that sees around corners, strength that outlasts storms, and a presence so rooted that no amount of external chaos can shake it. Heaven is determined to see you risen not just as a survivor, but as an architect of miracles. Maybe you're experiencing odd symptoms, waves of fatigue, bursts of energy, vivid dreams, moments of unexplained sorrow or joy. Perhaps your bones feel restless or your skin seems electric. Don't misinterpret these signs as breakdown or regression. They are, in truth, the contractions of spiritual rebirth. Like a caterpillar in its chrysalis, your form is being dissolved so that wings might emerge. The pain, the tightness, the sensation that your soul is outgrowing your skin, these are all sacred signals that you're being prepared to carry higher frequencies of wisdom, peace, and power. You're not being punished, chosen one. You're being promoted. This is not about feeling better or looking younger. It is about aligning with heaven's agenda for a world in urgent need of radical reformers, people who can carry fresh revelation, steward greater responsibility, and move with a supernatural agility that only comes from surrendering to this divine reconstruction. God is searching for a remnant who can stand unshaken while the world is shaking. who can transmit hope when darkness tries to suffocate the airwaves, who can move in rooms and realms most people cannot even perceive. You are being hand-built for such a mission. Your transformation is heaven's strategy for global and generational impact. Do not underestimate this moment. You are not here by chance, and what you're experiencing is not a crisis, it's a calling. Release the nostalgia for what was. Let go of the urge to hold on to expired relationships or outdated self-concepts. Everything being stripped away is making room for abilities, gifts, and strengths you've never accessed before. Every moment of discomfort is heaven's message. I am making you new, not just better, but unrecognizable to the old world. Chosen one, the blueprint is active. The divine construction is underway. Are you ready to step across the threshold and embrace the form you were always meant to embody? Because now is the time. The shift is not coming, it has begun. And you are the living proof. The pain you're feeling, chosen 1/8, relentless ache, the confusion, the moments when it seems like your very identity is unraveling, this is not random suffering. It is the sacred agony of divine shedding, the pressure that precedes impossible power. You must understand, heaven never calls a vessel to new glory without first demanding the old be released. What you interpret as loss is, in fact, the necessary contraction before expansion, the death of what no longer serves you, so that something breathtakingly new can be born. If you could glimpse yourself in the spirit, you'd see not a soul in decline, but a phoenix in the fire, feathers burning away to make room for wings of resurrection. There's a deep spiritual law in operation here, one the world resists and few are willing to endure. All true ascension comes through shedding, sometimes violently, sometimes gently, but always completely. Just as the snake cannot survive with skin that has grown too tight, so you, chosen one, cannot ascend while wearing yesterday's identity. This process is raw, it's vulnerable, and yes, it can be excruciating. The friendships that once felt effortless may suddenly feel heavy or dissolve altogether. Habits that used to comfort you might now taste like dust. Even your own thoughts can sound foreign, as if your mind is a house being cleared of ghosts. This is holy ground, the place where old wounds are exposed not to shame you, but to heal you. You may find yourself grieving for former joys, for comfort zones now outgrown, for the predictability of a life you could control. But hear this. The only way to soar is to shed what weighs you down. Even Jesus, in the wilderness, underwent a shedding not just of physical needs and temptations, but of every worldly label that tried to claim him. He emerged from that trial not diminished, but radiant, overflowing with the power required for his purpose. So too, your current discomfort is not your undoing, it's the birth pangs of a greater reality. There's a story I want you to remember. Think of David, the shepherd boy who could not wear Saul's armor because it didn't fit. To step into his anointing, David had to strip away what others thought he needed and trust the unfamiliar. In the same way, what used to fit you, beliefs, relationships, emotional patterns, become a constriction. God isn't punishing you by taking them. He's setting you free for a battle your old self could never win. Sometimes, your own reflection feels unrecognizable. You mourn not just people or places, but versions of yourself you've outgrown. This is the Spirit's invitation. Trust the process and surrender to the shedding. Let urgency stir in you. Do not mislabel these growing pains as regression. Heaven is stretching new wings beneath your surface. Sudden tears, unpredictable emotions, even old memories resurfacing, these are all part of God's holy cleansing. He's revealing what must be forgiven, what must be healed, and what simply cannot cross over into your new dimension. It's not Shemite's preparation for freedom. Every sting, every ache, every pang of nostalgia is a divine whisper. I care too much for you to let you settle for less than fullness. If you feel agitated, if your appetite changes, if you suddenly crave solitude or new forms of movement, know that your entire being is recalibrating. Even your body is pushing out the debris of the past, sometimes in restless nights, other times in waves of fatigue or bursts of supernatural energy. Listen to your instincts. Care for yourself as one recovering from spiritual surgery. Be gentle, be patient. Let compassion guide your self-talk, for you are not breaking down, you are being rebuilt. The shedding is not about erasing your story, but about refining your narrative. What is being stripped away is making room for frequencies of peace, joy, and power you have never hosted before. It is an act of sacred trust to grieve the old, to honor the pain, but then to step forward, uncluttered and unburdened. Your tears are rivers of release, cleansing the residue of seasons you've outgrown. The more you allow yourself to let go of comparison, guilt, the need to understand, the more swiftly you move into your new skin. Remember, in the old world, you survived by guarding your heart. In this new realm, your vulnerability becomes your weapon, your openness the gateway to miracles. As you surrender, you'll find laughter bubbling up from depths that used to house only sorrow. You'll attract new relationships, connections that resonate with your fresh frequency, and your boundaries will morph not as walls, but as sacred rivers that protect the flow of God's peace. Chosen one, do not despise the discomfort. Do not shrink from the pain of release. This is the holy violence of transformation, the evidence that heaven is unwilling to let you remain trapped in what is too small for your calling. Embrace the agony, lean into the shedding, for on the other side, you will not just recover, you will rise, radiant and equipped for a realm your former self could never have survived. The fire is not your end, it is the altar on which you are being reforged for the impossible. Chosen one, as you journey through this season of sacred discomfort and courageous shedding, know that something astonishing is happening beneath the surface. God is activating your DNA of destiny. This is not a poetic metaphor or an empty promise. This is spiritual technology, straight from the throne room, rewiring your very code for supernatural resilience, holy endurance, and generational breakthrough. You are not simply being healed or restored. You are being upgraded, recoded, and recalibrated at the most fundamental level of your existence. Maybe you've felt it, a pressure, a stirring, an internal intensity that makes you sense you're meant for something more, even as old patterns and weaknesses get exposed. This is the divine hand of God reaching into the blueprint of who you are, overriding limitations inherited or acquired, breaking generational cycles that tried to trap you, and installing a new script of victory and abundance. Where you once repeated the broken patterns of your bloodline, you'll see cycles dissolving, replaced by blessings so deep they echo through your lineage. What felt like a curse is about to become a testimony. What was a weakness is being recoded as a weapon. Pause and consider the pattern woven throughout sacred history. Think of Jacob, who wrestled with God and left with a new name and a transformed walker living monument to divine intervention. Or Moses, whose time in God's presence altered his very biology until his face radiated light. They were not just changed in spirit, they were marked in body and destiny. You, too, are encountering a holy upgrade. The same spirit that raised Jesus from the dead is now at work within you, activating gifts you thought were lost, resurrecting dreams you assumed were buried, and instilling in you a durability that goes beyond natural explanation. There will be days when the stretching feels unbearable, when you are pushed to your limits, and the old instincts to retreat or hide seem almost overwhelming. Don't mistake these moments for defeat. In the discomfort, your spiritual DNA is being rewritten to carry more authority, more clarity, and more supernatural responsibility. The version of you that operated in the old season could not withstand the pressure of what's being released now. That's why heaven is going deep, recalibrating even the cells of your body to align with your assignment. You might notice your physical strength growing, endurance increasing, or even your immune system responding in new ways. Intuition sharpens, discernment grows keener, and creative solutions download into your spirit at lightning speed. These are not random improvements. They are signs that heaven's technology is at work inside you. Hidden folders in your soul, capacities that lay dormant for years, are now being unlocked because you're finally ready to steward them. The world may call it luck or talent or a sudden glow up, but you will know the truth. It is the unmistakable fingerprint of God, coding you for impact in this generation. But make no mistake, this upgrade isn't just for you. Heaven's investment in your transformation is designed to overflow into every life you touch. Your new DNA will increase your capacity to carry others in prayer, to support and uplift those who are weary, to remain anchored when chaos swirls all around. As your resilience deepens, your heart will widen for love, forgiveness, and compassion. Where you once felt overwhelmed by life, you'll now feel equipped, ready to stand in the gap for those who have not yet awakened to their own calling. And if you ever mourn the loss of the old you, let your spirit rise in celebration of what's coming alive. You are no longer merely a survivor of old battles. You are a carrier of breakthrough, an agent of transformation, a vessel built to handle the voltage of heaven's power. Every struggle, every setback, every wound you've survived was the training ground for this very moment. Speak this truth over yourself right now. God is upgrading my DNA for a new dimension. I receive the resilience, capacity, and coding required for my next assignment. Let it settle deep, permeating every cell and every thought. Chosen one, the miracle underway in you is not just about becoming a better version of yourself. This is about heaven designing an original, unrepeatable, and fully equipped for the glory and challenges ahead. Your breakthrough is about to echo through generations, a ripple effect of transformation that testifies to the God who still writes new codes and crafts new destinies. Stay expectant. The supernatural upgrade is not only real, it is unstoppable. Chosen one, as your DNA is rewritten and your inner world is realigned, another wonder begins to unfold. Your senses are awakening for a multidimensional mission. This is not just a matter of sharper eyesight or keener hearing. God is tuning you to frequencies that most will never detect, enabling you to perceive spiritual signals that others walk past without a second thought. You are being equipped with a supernatural tool chiton that will allow you to move with wisdom, see through deception, and sense opportunities and dangers long before they surface. If you've noticed the world feels more vivid or intense, you're not imagining it. Sometimes colors seem brighter, music resonates more deeply, and the emotions of others touch you at a depth you never experienced before. At times, your environment might feel overwhelming: a crowd's energy, a room's atmosphere, the unspoken motives behind a conversation. These aren't simply mood swings or quirks of personality. This is your spirit tuning into the invisible, God dialing up your sensitivity to match the assignment ahead. What once was background noise is now revelation. What once felt random is now a divine message coded into your experience. Consider the biblical heroes who carried such heightened awareness. Elisha, who saw the armies of heaven encamped around him, while others only saw the enemy. Daniel, who interpreted dreams and solved mysteries that baffled the wisest men of Babylon. Their power wasn't rooted merely in intelligence, but in their extra-sensory ability to discern, perceive, and decode the signals of heaven. This is what God is awakening in you now, and it's essential for this next dimension. Your dreams may grow more vivid, sometimes prophetic, sometimes instructive. You might receive flashes of insight, sudden inner knowings, or strong intuitions that interrupt your daily routine. These are not coincidences or distractions, but spiritual downloads designed to prepare you for choices and challenges before they arrive. Your prayer life deepens as new forms of communication with God emerge: visions, impressions, and holy hunches that keep you a step ahead of what the enemy is plotting. There will be times when this awakening feels like too much, where you find yourself overstimulated, tired, or even wanting to retreat. Don't panic. Just as a newborn is startled by bright lights and loud sounds, your spirit is adjusting to an influx of data from realms you're just now learning to navigate. In these moments, anchor yourself in quiet with God. Practice solitude. Ask for wisdom in stewarding your new senses, setting healthy boundaries, and learning to interpret what you receive. The Spirit will guide you gently, teaching you when to act, when to speak, and when to simply observe. Remember, chosen one, these gifts are not given for spectacle or spiritual showmanship. They are holy tools to serve your purpose, protect what is precious, and open new pathways for the kingdom. Heaven trusts you with more insight because you have been faithful with little. You are not just a passive receiver, you are an active steward, called to move as a mature, multidimensional child of God. Let wonder flood your heart. The old world measures only what can be seen and touched, but the realm you're entering values what is discerned and received by faith. You are crossing into a territory where spiritual insight is more valuable than information, and true presence is more powerful than mere performance. Stay humble, stay teachable. Let your new senses serve others, comforting, warning, uplifting, and guiding those who are still blind to the movement of God. As you trust these gifts and lean into the Spirit's leading, you'll notice your relationships deepening, your decisions becoming more fruitful, and your purpose clarified. Sometimes the world will misunderstand your clarity or misinterpret your intuition as oddness or arrogance. Let them wonder. You're not here to be understood by everyone. You're here to walk in sync with heaven's timing, carrying messages, solutions, and love for those who need it most. Chosen one, your awakened senses are the very tools heaven has placed in your hands for such a time as this. Guard them, cultivate them, let them be sanctified, devoted entirely to your mission. In this new dimension, every spiritual gift is an invitation to bring more of heaven to earth. You are being prepared to lead, to protect, and to pioneer, guided not by guesswork, but by the sharp, luminous intuition of the Spirit. Embrace the newlit. Your life be the evidence that God is still equipping His chosen with everything needed to fulfill their calling. What was once a mystery is now your reality. Chosen one, as your senses awaken, your body and energy are also being recalibrated down to the very rhythm that moves you. What feels like wild fluctuation is actually prophetic alignment. This isn't random exhaustion or unexplained surges of motivation. It's heaven's way of synchronizing your earthly vessel with the frequency of your new assignment. Your energy, your appetite, your patterns of rest and movement all are responding to a divine realignment that the world cannot see, but you must learn to honor. Let's talk about those days when you wake up weary, even after sleep, when your bones ache for stillness and your mind feels foggy. In the old season, you'd label this as failure, laziness, or a sign of decline. But heaven's view is different. These cycles of fatigue are not punishments, they are sacred invitations. Like Elijah, exhausted under the broom tree, you are being called into supernatural rest, not because you're weak, but because your next assignment demands a deeper well of strength. God sent an angel to Elijah with food and rest, knowing the prophet's journey was far from over. Likewise, your current need for stillness is a prelude to divine movement. In the pause, capacity is built. In the quiet, you are rewired for the challenges ahead. Then, there are the days when you feel unstoppable. Ideas flow, your steps are light, and your heart is flooded with clarity. These are windows of spiritual acceleration moments when heaven's wind is at your back. Don't squander these bursts of energy or dismiss them as luck. Use them. Create, build, pray, serve and pour out with holy focus. These surges are heaven's deposits, seeds of momentum that must be honored. When you move in sync with God's energy, you accomplish in a day what used to take months. You may notice your cravings changing, old foods lose their appeal. New forms of nourishment call to you. Sleep patterns may shift. Your body longs for movement or rest in unfamiliar rhythms. These aren't symptoms to medicate or suppress. They are instructions from your spiritual operating system, recalibrating you for the new. To resist is to fight the very current that's carrying you to destiny. To honor the shifts is to say yes to heaven's upgrade. Here is where many chosen ones falter, by comparing themselves to the pace of the world. Others will expect you to keep grinding, to power through by willpower alone. But you are no longer subject to worldly limitations. You're not here to perform for the approval of people, but to ascend by the direction of God. The new dimension does not run on the anxious fuel of hustle culture. It operates on the flow of divine timing. Both fatigue and fire are sacred. Both are proof that you're being tuned for elevation, not mere endurance. In the days ahead, cultivate a holy listening to your body. When you need rest, take it without guilt. When energy arrives, ride the wave boldly. Each act of self-care becomes a prophetic declaration. I am worth the upgrade God is performing in me. Feed your body what brings life, not just what fills you. Move in ways that energize, not just exhaust. Allow God to show you new rhythms. Dance if you need to. Fast if you're led. Embrace stillness when it calls. You are no longer operating on human fuel alone. You are powered by heaven's resources. This recalibration will sometimes set you apart. Others might not understand your cycles. They may judge, question, or try to pull you back into old patterns of performance. Stand firm. You are learning to surf the waves of God's energy, not the world's expectations. You will notice, as you surrender, your energy stabilizing at a higher frequency than ever before. Rest no longer drains you, it restores you. Action no longer burns you out, it catapults you into destiny. Remember, the fatigue is sacred, the surges are supernatural, and the whole process is designed for your ascent. The next dimension requires a vessel that can adapt, a spirit that can listen, a body that can recover and launch at a moment's notice. You're being trained not just to endure, but to soar. Chosen one, let the world chase productivity. You are here for prophetic alignment. Embrace the shift, trust the process, and move with the rhythm of heaven. Your new energy isn't just for getting by, it's for rising above, for leading with resilience, for blazing a trail that others will follow. Let every shift in your body be a sign that you are preparing to operate on supernatural fuel. The elevation is real, and you are being equipped for a mission only you can fulfill. Chosen one, as your body and energy fall into alignment with this new frequency, something extraordinary is unfolding within your mind. Gone are the days when anxieties, regrets, or the relentless echoes of past failures had the power to dictate your every thought. God is liberating your mind from its old prey zone, expanding your inner landscape, awakening creative vision, and installing supernatural strategy. In this higher realm, your imagination becomes a canvas for divine possibility, no longer shackled by fear or inherited limits. Notice how the familiar mental ruts, the cycles of doubt, negative self-talk, and confusion are dissolving. Where there once was noise, now you're discovering a deeper clarity, a calm that defies circumstance. In place of panic, there's a quiet assurance. You are chosen, you are guided, you are equipped. This isn't a product of mere self-help or positive thinking. This is the tangible work of the Spirit, reclaiming the territory of your thoughts and rewiring them for wisdom and vision. Sometimes, ideas and solutions will arrive as if from nowhere, flashes of inspiration that answer questions you hadn't yet voiced. You'll notice you're able to connect dots, solve problems, and imagine bold new outcomes far beyond your previous capacity. This is what happens when you think with God. Just as Solomon, given the choice, asked not for wealth or fame, but for wisdom, and God responded by pouring out understanding and discernment. Beyond measure, you are now tapping into that same heavenly reservoir. Heaven knows your next assignment demands more than knowledge. It requires wisdom that transcends logic and a creativity that dares to dream solutions the world has never seen. Don't be surprised if you wake up suddenly hungry for learning. New books, new perspectives, new revelations may call to you. Even skills or subjects that once felt intimidating can now feel like an invitation. Your mind is being prepared to steward greater responsibility. Old distractions, the endless scrolling, the pointless noise, begin to lose their grip, replaced by a curiosity and focus you haven't felt since childhood. This is God remapping your neural pathways, breaking the hold of generational patterns, and freeing you to imagine futures your ancestors could barely hope for. As this limitlessness emerges, your thinking will begin to partner with heaven's plans for your life. Prayers for renewed mind become your daily reality. The Holy Spirit will drop solutions for problems before they surface. You may suddenly see strategies for your life, your family, your calling sometimes, even for entire communities. This is God granting you the mind of Christ, a mind both strategic and surrendered, bold and humble. But remember, chosen one, with this gift comes new stewardship. Your mental space is a sacred garden. Guard what you feed your mind. Protect your focus from the trivial and the toxic. Make space for stillness and contemplation, so that the whispers of the Spirit aren't drowned out by the world's chaos. Practice discernment with information, seeking out that which aligns with heaven's truth. Your clarity and confidence may sometimes set you apart, confusing those who are still trapped in old paradigms. Let them be bewildered. You are not called to fit in, but to stand out as a beacon of what's possible when the Spirit leads. The world may try to reduce your newfound clarity to arrogance or dismiss your bold ideas as unrealistic. But you'll know that this mind is not yours alone. It's been formed in partnership with God for a higher purpose. In this new dimension, your thoughts are the seeds of new realities. Let God plant and water them. Remain humble and open, and watch as what seemed impossible becomes your daily experience. As your mind expands, so too will your prophetic insight. Expect dreams, warnings, and creative downloads that not only serve your journey, but ripple into the lives of others. You'll find yourself offering solutions and encouragement before they're even requested, seeing openings where others only see obstacles. This is how you become a catalyst for breakthrough, a source of wisdom, and a safe haven for those still seeking answers. Chosen one, your limitless, spirit-filled mind is one of the greatest miracles of your transformation. Nurture it, trust it, guard it as fiercely as your heart. For in this new dimension, innovation, courage, and faith-filled thinking are the currency of leadership. Expect the impossible to become normal, and know that your mind, liberated and aligned, is a living sign that you are prepared for the unimaginable heights ahead. Chosen one. As your mind is liberated and creativity flows like a living stream, you'll notice another seismic shift. Your heart, your emotions, and your relationships are all being remade for this new dimension. God is not content with surface change. He is redeeming your emotional landscape, removing the residue of old wounds, and aligning your relationships to serve your divine mission. This process is not always gentle, but every pang, every moment of loneliness or sudden joy is sacred evidence that heaven is pruning you for a higher kind of belonging. For too long, your heart may have been trained by trauma, guarded by necessity, cautious from pain, slow to trust, or let joy linger. The world told you to protect yourself, to brace for disappointment, to expect betrayal. But now, the Spirit is inviting you to surrender those shields. You will find that triggers which once sent you spiraling now lose their power. Where fear used to grip you, waves of peace begin to flow. Your joy is no longer fleeting, no longer stolen by circumstance, but rooted in the unshakable truth that you are chosen, healed, and equipped for the new. This emotional recalibration can feel confusing. People you loved may drift away. Relationships that once brought comfort might now feel heavy or dissolve entirely. You may find that you crave honest, life-giving connection and have little tolerance for drama or pretense. It can feel lonely, but know this: you are not being rejected, you are being realigned. God is dissolving old bonds so new, higher frequency connections can enter. The old world of superficiality cannot follow you into the new realm of purpose. Let the story of Abraham settle into your spirit. When God called him to a new land, It also meant leaving behind family ties and even his beloved nephew, Lot. That separation wasn't easy, but it was necessary for the alliances that would carry Abraham into his destiny. The same is true for you. Relationships are spiritual contracts, some for a season, some for a lifetime. Those meant to journey with you will rise to your new frequency. Others, whose energy cannot withstand the atmosphere you now carry, will gently fade. Honor each shift, release guilt and nostalgia, and bless what must go. As you let go, you'll notice new relationships appearing, often in the most unexpected ways: a mentor's voice, a kindred spirit in a stranger, a community that feels instantly familiar. These are heaven's gifts. They will encourage your growth, honor your process, and challenge you to keep rising. Conversation with them flows with ease. Your shared energy multiplies, not drains. You're discovering your tribethi fellowship of destiny, each one carrying a piece of God's glory for this moment in history. Your emotional healing will be mirrored in your responses. Where you once reacted from fear, you'll respond from faith. Where bitterness and anger once lingered, forgiveness and compassion will take root. Don't be surprised if tears come unexpectedly in worship, in gratitude, in release, washing away the residue of old seasons. Laughter will return, bubbling up from the depths of a soul set free. Joy, once fleeting, will become your default state, a radiant testimony to the security of being chosen. Boundaries, too, will change. They won't be walls to keep love out, but rivers to protect the peace and purpose God is establishing in your life. Your very presence will shift atmospheres, inviting others into hope and courage. You'll attract those who are ready for truth, for healing, for real connection. The world is desperate for people who feel deeply and live courageously, who mourn with hope and celebrate with humility. You are being molded into such a leader. Chosen one, let God finish his work. Bless your emotions. Invite them to partner with your spirit and purpose. For in this new dimension, a healed heart is as vital as a renewed mind or a transformed body. Let radical peace and unshakable joy be your inheritance. Knowing every tear and every laugh is a sacred sign of your ascension. Relationships may shift, but belonging will deepen. You will know, perhaps for the first time, that you are not alone. You are part of a remnant, a tribe of destiny, commissioned to bring restoration to a world longing for love. Your healed heart will be the evidence that heaven is moving through you, courageous, compassionate, and prepared for holy connection in every season to come. Chosen one, the transformation is culminating, and heaven is calling you to the center stage of your destiny. Every layer of you, body, mind, heart, and spirit has been touched, awakened, and refined for this exact moment. This is not merely the end of a difficult process, it is your divine commissioning. You are no longer who you were, nor merely who you hope to become. You are a living prophecy, evidence that God still moves, still heals, still rebuilds, and still sends forth his chosen to shift entire realms. Pause and recognize the proof. Look at your reflection. Feel your new energy. Listen to the quiet confidence pulsing in your thoughts. These aren't just positive changes. They are physical, emotional, and spiritual confirmations that you have crossed into a higher realm. Even if others fail to see it, heaven is celebrating the unveiling of the masterpiece you've become. You are now the vessel through which new life, restoration, and breakthrough will flow, not only for yourself, but for every life your presence touches. The pain, the shedding, the lonely hours, and the moments of fierce obedience were not wasted. They were the altar upon which you were reforged for glory. Old limits have fallen away. Old scripts have burned to ash. In their place, heaven has written a new narrative, woven with boldness, wisdom, and joy. Where fear once tried to choke your purpose, now authority rises in your words. Where uncertainty tried to dim your vision, clarity blazes. You are fully equipped, body recalibrated, mind illuminated, heart healed, spirit alive. Do not let nostalgia, shame, or doubt call you back to a version of yourself that no longer exists. You are not meant to return to the old world. You are called to pioneer a new one. Your story is now a living invitation for others to believe that transformation is possible, that the God who rebuilt you is still at work in the world. Every conversation, every act of kindness, every boundary you set, every prayer you speak will ripple out as a signpost pointing directly to heaven's reality breaking in on earth. Let your words carry healing. Let your prayers shake atmospheres. Let your mere presence stir faith and courage in the weary. The places where you once felt overlooked will become platforms for divine impact. You will notice new doors opening, unexpected invitations arising, and spiritual authority flowing through you in ways you never imagined. You no longer have to apologize for your transformation or explain the mystery of your journey. Your life itself will do the talking. You are now the evidence. Divine confirmation. Hear this. Chosen one, heaven declares you fully commissioned, fully equipped, fully chosen for this new dimension. The old has passed away, the new has come. No longer bound by history, you are now a carrier of breakthrough, an ambassador of hope, a vessel of living prophecy. You are sent to families, communities, nations, and even realms of influence you once thought unreachable. Do not shrink from the call. You are built for this, empowered to thrive, to build, to pioneer, and to reveal the kingdom of God wherever you step. Right now, let the Spirit settle this truth deep in your soul. This transformation is your activation. Your renewed body, mind, and spirit are tools for your highest assignment. May your days be long, your energy ever renewed, and your impact eternal. Let every assignment prosper under God's favor, every relationship be aligned with your purpose, and every step you take be bold and unashamed. Now, here's the final twist. The tease: you cannot ignore what you have just received is not your finish line, but your launching pad. Heaven is already orchestrating your next elevation. The coming days will reveal even greater shifts, higher assignments, and deeper dimensions. What's been built in you is only the beginning. The proof of your transformation will multiply, and the world will look for the source. Be ready, chosen one, for the new dimension requires all that you are and all that heaven is still revealing. Move forward now with blessing. May your life overflow with signs and wonders. May your words call others into their own transformation. And may you always know that you are fully chosen, fully sent, and forever ascending. This is your new beginning. Claim it, walk boldly, and prepare for the unstoppable breakthrough already in motion.